What's up? Welcome everyone, including my new little pimple friend. It's ridiculous, this thing's got its own shadow, it came out of nowhere. Today we're looking at a picking exercise that is spawned from a riff by Yngwie Malmsteen, and this is what it sounds like. So today we're just going to look at that riff. It is an alternate picking exercise that's going to get you far more comfortable with alternate picking across different strings, and it promotes accuracy. You can stop building speed on this one when you want to. It actually doesn't really have a limit. It's quite a unique pattern. I haven't seen it anywhere else, but I have seen it in multiple Yngwie Malmsteen songs. To understand what's happening in this riff, it kind of makes sense to look at what's happening in the chords underneath it. And it's just an analysis. It's not to be able to play the riff, it's just to help you start thinking in ways that are kind of applying theory to music rather than just playing. So the chord progression that I've recorded at the start of the video is 3rd fret on the A string, and you just climb up by semitones until you get to the 15th fret on the A string. It's very, very straightforward. However, to analyze it properly, we're actually looking at 6 sets of 2 chords, and at each chord it changes key. And I will make this make sense. So if you don't understand it, that's cool. Allow yourself to be exposed to this stuff. As you learn more theory, it will start making more and more sense. So the first chord is C major. It then goes to C sharp diminished 7. It then goes to D major. Then goes to D sharp diminished 7. Right? And then E major, F diminished 7, F sharp major, G diminished 7, right? It's not important that you know what those chords are doing. What's important is that you understand that the reason why we're getting a unique riff is because we're actually pushing through different keys to pull onto the next one. What I mean by that is after we hit the C major, right, we go to the C sharp diminished 7, right? Now this is an unstable chord. It wants to push up to the D major, right? It doesn't want to pull down to the C, so, right, it just kind of sounds awkward, right? It just kind of, this chord progression allows it to push onto the next chord, wanting us to have a rising melody, which is what we get. Before we get into learning the riff, the first 8 notes is in C major. The next set of 8 notes is in D harmonic minor, D major, E harmonic minor, E major, okay? And it just keeps going up like that. And the reason why we know it's those notes, if we hit the first one, those notes are what's outlined. The next chord, okay, so that should get you a pretty clear understanding as to what's actually happening, even though it's not important to use this exercise. It's just stuff that I want to start introducing to you. This riff isn't exactly complicated, but I played it over and over and over when I was a kid, just trying to get it faster and faster, and it really, really helped every single area of my picking. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm just going to take it slow so you can digest it, because I know that in the first video it was quite quick, and I just really want to outline what is important in this video, and then how to go about speeding it up, how to get it to that speed and beyond. So I'm going to actually start on 70 BPM. I hope you can hear this metronome, because that's going to be a real wank if it doesn't work. The tab that I've written for you isn't accurate to how it's played on the album, but I figured it's easier to digest in this way because it's just smaller bites. I'll explain that later though. So we're going to start off at 70 BPM. It is very, very important that you do all of these alternate picked. Down, up, down, up, down, up. No matter what string you change to, no matter what happens. Down, up, down, up, down, up. The whole way. So that's how to play the riff. It's pretty straightforward. Do that, get comfortable with it, speed it up over time when you're getting everything perfect every single time. It is very important that you do the alternate picking, otherwise it won't work. Make sure that you're not doing, because when I get lazy, I start doing, which is not right. The point of this exercise is to get all the strings. Okay? Now, notice when I play this, I actually use my ring finger to move to the next position. So, slide. Right? What that does is that allows me to move my positions without moving my fingers. So it's really important in this exercise to keep your finger over the fret where it's aiming for. So you don't have the index finger moving between frets before you change position of your hand altogether. None of your fingers should move. All I'm trying to say is first position. We want our index finger on the second fret, middle finger on the third, ring finger on the fourth, and pinky on the fifth. And we just want those hovering over those frets no matter what note we're playing. That's the last fret of the thing. We move up one semitone with that ring finger. We then squeeze, so we're playing the fifth fret with our ring finger and the fourth fret with our index finger. And that's when we reset. When we hit that second note, that is when we go with index finger 4th fret, middle finger 5th, ring finger 6th, and pinky finger 7th. So just to play it slowly. Change, squeeze, and then we're in the next position. Slide, squeeze, change position, etc. Let's say you get to about 150 BPM with that, right? And remember the target tempo here is 130, but I wrote the tab incorrectly. So let's say you get to 150 BPM and you want to go faster. This is where you have to change it and you have to count differently. So let's do it at 150 BPM first, and then we'll change it in the way that we need to. Alright, so there, we're at 150 BPM, feeling comfortable, whatever. What we need to do is roll it back down to 75 BPM, but we need to play at the same speed. So what that means is on the tab that I've given you, I've got 8th notes or quavers written. We need to go down to 16th notes or semiquavers, okay? To do that, to maintain the same speed, because we're doubling the amount of notes, we need to halve the speed, and then we get everything the same. So if we roll back down to 75 BPM, but we count 4 notes per beat instead of 2 per beat, then we get the same speed, and then we're actually doing it what's accurate with the track. So okay, and if you watched the arpeggio video last week, then you saw that I gave you a basic idea on how to do arpeggios, and I didn't cover the arpeggio that we cover in this video, but don't worry, that is coming. The song is Blitzkrieg by Yngwie Malmsteen. I've heard him play this lick in a few different songs that he does. I can't remember what those songs are, and I can't really be bothered looking through all of Yngwie's stuff just to find him playing one riff a few times. The point is that it's an exercise, and that's all I saw it as from the start. When I first learnt it, I was like, oh, this is great. I get to, work on my alternate picking. It's an interesting run. It's something that kind of really I have to concentrate on. If I get lazy, then I screw it up. And yeah, I think it's really important to actually pass on to people and get them focusing on different things. With that in mind, have fun with this one. Allow it to expand how you work the guitar. So say, for example, the thing that I really like the most about this is how chromatic it is and how it's the same pattern, yet the pattern itself pushes itself onto the next position. So if you've got a solo and you're wondering how to get to the next position because you want to go higher, but you don't want to just have like a, you want to do something that leads up to it, see if you can include a run that works its way up, sounds cool, sounds interesting, sounds unique, and gets you from where you are to where you want to be. And if that happens to incorporate interesting chords between it, then all the better. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using those chords, but yeah, it's just play around with this stuff, because the more that you're thinking in more expansive ways about your playing and about how you approach the guitar, the more interesting of a guitar player you want to be. And whilst it's important to have technique, it's more important that you have your own unique sound that is something that people haven't really heard before and people want to hear more of. Okay? The key takeaways from this video are: learn this riff. Alternate pick every single note. Okay? Do not miss a beat, do not miss a string, do not do anything fancy. Just make sure you're getting it very even, very smooth, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, the whole way up the neck, and then you do the sweep at the end. When you get to 150 beats per minute with the quavers or eighth notes, you change it so that you're playing 4 notes per beat, and that will allow you to get to the target tempo of 130 BPM with 4 notes per beat. And then finally, use this lick for inspiration for your own writing. Great, so I will see you guys next week with another video on something, probably arpeggios again, because I like doing the last one. If you feel the need to say anything, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, whatever, please leave a comment, because I do read it and I do respond to it. I don't fully understand the notification system from YouTube, so I get some notifications and I miss a whole bunch of others. It's really weird, but I do occasionally go through and check every single one that I've missed. Because at the end of the day, if you have a suggestion, if there's something that's lacking with my content, then you tell me what that is, and then I can change that and make it content that's good for you and good for me. So yeah, please do that. And if you like the video, please like it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I really love getting the notifications. I'm like, oh shit, there's another person that's subscribed every single time. And yeah, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I quite enjoy doing this. It does take a bunch of time though. Let me know your thoughts, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.